Welcome to 32 and 3. Welcome to 32 and 32, where we count down.
Anyway, that's beside the point. At the end of the day, it's a business.
If you're the Rams, you are officially coming off the absolute worst performance in the Super Bowl ever. I think Robert Kraft is peas in someone else's pod.
I mean, y'all Super Bowl wins are so old. I mean, the rings are probably to dust right now. So,
Not about the Eagles today. We're talking about the Bears.
Yeah. So, as usual, let's take a look first at their free agent signings. Thanks for watching, folks. That is today's analysis of the Minnesota Vikings.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 32 and 32, where we cover 32 NFL teams in 32 days before the opening kickoff. In other news, this is day 295 that I've been held here in this room against my will. Please call the police and all the authorities. Also call Lifetime for I request a documentary be made called Surviving John Barons, everybody.
No cookies for you after supper.
Can I at least get some ice cream?
No.
At least they feed me, though. I mean, I'm not being sold off. They actually make sure that I get to work every day. And
Okay.
you know,
So today we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys.
just joking, everybody, about the Surviving John Barons crap. But yeah, we are talking about Dallas today.
So I actually have a little bit of a prop that I want to bring up.
I've been kind of curious about it.
So, got me some money bags here. Yeah, some money bags. And you know where they're going?
In the trash.
No. I mean, it could end up there. I don't know where they're going, but I know where they're not going. And that is to Ezekiel Elliott.
Pay the man. But they don't want to.
Well, Jerry Jones doesn't want to. You know, he's the general manager and the owner on one.
Yeah, he has full control of the front office. The fact that you don't want to pay Ezekiel Elliott, especially since he has been the catalyst of your offense, it's actually very absurd. I mean, without him, you cannot get a good performance out of Dak Prescott. Without him, Dak Prescott's not going to move that ball up and down the field for your offense.
Well, you know, one of the interesting things about Dak Prescott is even though his numbers aren't necessarily that great as far as offensive production, again, without Ezekiel Elliott, he does have, I want to say, the fourth most wins for a starting quarterback over the last 3 or 4 years.
Well, with Dak Prescott, I mean, he's not going to get up to that elite stage, like where Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Drew Brees are. But one thing about Dak Prescott is that you're not going to get eye-popping numbers out of him. But he will try and get the job done. I'm just saying, what I was trying to say earlier is that he's a lot more effective with Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield.
Oh, without question.
Without Zeke Elliott, there's no telling how much production you're going to get out of Dak Prescott. I mean, now, on any given Sunday, you might be able to get a good game out of him. But most times, I mean, Zeke is kind of like his muse, in a sense. Or like his
Robin.
But, well, looking at the numbers, I would make Zeke Elliott Batman. And, I mean, Robin would crumble without Batman by his side. So I would say Zeke Elliott is Batman and Dak Prescott is Robin. But due to the fact that the quarterback's the one running the offense and the quarterback running calling the shots, said to say Dak Prescott is Batman. But this Batman is much more and much heavily reliant on Robin.
Fair enough. And I think the numbers speak for itself. Their offensive production is clearly better with Ezekiel Elliott on the field versus when he's not on the field. And their wins do typically come a little bit easier with the high production from Ezekiel Elliott. And, you know, it's just, I believe in Dak Prescott. I believe he does have that next tier in him. They just need to get it out of him and develop him a little bit better. He does have a new offensive coordinator, so we could see where this ends up going.
Now that he's actually about to have a full season with Amari Cooper. They also got
So
Randall.
there's that.
They also got Randall Cobb coming, but there's no telling how much production that Dallas gonna get out of him. He did hit a drop off last season with Green Bay. They got Jason Witten coming out of retirement, and we don't know what type of numbers he's going to put up. I mean, he was away from the field for a season, and he is. I want to say he's about 40 years old, almost 40.
Yeah, he's 37.
37?
So almost 40.
Almost 40. So there's no telling how well he's going to do at tight end.
So I guess that means we should pull up the free agent signings. Randall Cobb, Cameron Fleming, George Iloka, and Robert Quinn. Now, I will say this. Robert Quinn was a steal for the Cowboys.
That was a huge steal considering
Getting him for just a 6th-round pick.
That was a huge deal. Miami was. I'm gonna just say this. Miami, y'all were dumb as hell for making that type of. I mean, look, Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn is a dominating force in the defensive line. So why in the world would you trade him for a 6th-round pick? I could see if it was for maybe a 2nd or 3rd tier player plus a few draft picks, 2nd or 3rd round here and there, but just for a 6th-round pick. If I was Miami, I would feel pretty much robbed in that situation, considering the talent of Robert Quinn and considering what the Cowboys gave you for him. Jerry Jones, that was probably the easiest transaction he's ever made since in his time with Dallas.
I'm going to bring that graph up again. I mean, Cameron Fleming is not that bad of a signing either. Neither is George Iloka. Terrible names. So overall, I'd say a good free agent signing class. And while Robert Quinn was obviously a trade, but I consider that part of the offseason acquisitions outside of the draft. So don't hit me up in the comments saying he was not a free agent signing. I know
he was a trade. So get off our backs. Yeah, I said it.
Would you say get off our cowbacks?
I'm gonna go find a cowbell right now and just knock you upside your head with it. And just scream "Yeehaw" in your damn ear.
But okay. And something's wrong with my headphones.
Just kidding, everybody. I'm not a violent individual.
Are you sure about that?
I am positive about that.
You
You wanna know how positive I am about that?
Two plus 2 equals 4 positive?
Let's go with that. Because
Okay.
if I actually say how positive I was about that, you'll be ready to stop recording.
I know exactly where you're going with that. But no, okay, so Dallas was actually able to come and steal the, steal loosely, I mean, well, you know what, I'll go with that, because Washington was very much clearly in position to take the NFC East last year. And then if you can argue that if it weren't for an injury to Alex Smith, they would probably have kept it rolling. But the Cowboys were able to catch and pass up Washington after the Alex Smith injury, but not that they were trailing by a lot. They were actually off to a very good start last year regardless.
And the Giants never had a chance. And the Eagles, they tried their best to keep pace, but it was the losses to Dallas. I think Dallas swept them.
Yeah.
Dallas swept them, yeah.
But Eagles did come on strong. And so the Cowboys made the playoffs for the first time, 2-3 years ago.
Let's talk about how they got their first playoff win in years.
Yeah, that was key, huge. Was the fact that they got their first playoff win in, like you said, years, because they've been one and done for the last several times they got to the playoffs. I think 2006 was the last time they had.
Yeah, just ask Bill Parcells and ask Wade
No.
Phillips.
It wasn't 2006. I want to say it was 2009 because that was still the Romo years, and they won.
Romo never won a playoff game.
Are you sure?
I am. Wait a minute. Kind of sure. I'm sure Romo never won a playoff game.
I think you won at least 1 or 2.
Mm-mm. you might be thinking about maybe the Bledsoe days. Maybe.
No. Anywho, um, we'll have to look that up later. But
Troy Aikman, Dallas misses you. But you're retired, so I know you can't come back to the field.
I'm pretty sure that the Dallas Cowboys got to the divisional round during Romo at one point in time.
You're not thinking about that game they lost to against Seattle, right? Where Romo mishandled the snap.
I know that was one loss. You sure that wasn't divisional round?
I'm pretty sure. Wait, I think that was wild card.
Okay.
That was wild card, I think.
Because I was thinking 2009 they got to the divisional round against the Vikings. For some reason, I just feel like they played the Vikings in the playoffs that year.
And I think that didn't the Vikings win that game?
Well, of course they did, because they played the Saints the next week.
Now I got my years mixed up.
Yeah, 2009. I'm pretty sure of it. Anywho, that was actually a pretty impressive run. I mean, yeah, they lost to the Los Angeles Rams in the divisional round last year. But with a win over a Seattle team that, like we said in the past, was not the same Seattle team from their Super Bowl runs, but still a very strong, viable Seattle team with one hell of a running game.
I just heard you talking about Seattle. I'm still trying to wrap my head around if Tony Romo still had a playoff victory under his belt.
2009, bro. I'm pretty sure of it.
Look it up and see. I'll look it up. You know what?
Okay, you look it up.
I'll look it up. Because now you got my mind about it. Because I've been telling everybody Tony Romo does not have a playoff win. He doesn't have a playoff win. I'm pretty sure of it.
But yeah, I was also. Do you really think that Randall Cobb will be? Do you think he has much left? Because his numbers were dropping off in Green Bay, and now I almost feel like Dallas is getting sloppy seconds.
I think Randall Cobb is gonna I think this season he's gonna find his second win, and I really believe that Dallas is gonna find their way to be able to use Randall Cobb and to be able to use his capabilities to their advantage. So I really do think that Randall Cobb is a decent pickup. I don't think he'll be that same force that he was back when he was in Green Bay, but I do feel that he will be quite the contributor for the Cowboys offense.
Okay, so one of the questions that I'm wondering about is, okay, and this is pertaining also more to Randall Cobb. So you have to assume that Cobb's going to come in and step in for the loss of Cole Beasley.
Yeah, Cole Beasley, he had went to the Bills, right?
Yeah, he signed with the Bills.
Okay. I was trying to make sure. I'm looking up Dallas' schedule.
You really are stuck on that, aren't you?
I'm very stuck on that.
Right. I think.
They were 11-5 that year. Were they in the playoffs though?
Yes, they were in the playoffs.
I'm here to prove you wrong.
You're wasting these people's precious time if we haven't already.
Okay, they did win. You were right. They had defeated the Eagles. I want to say it was 34-14, and they lost to the Vikings 34-3.
You're slipping, bro.
All right. Shut up.
Yeah. Okay, so where were we?
Dust in the wind.
So, okay, Randall Cobb taking over for Cole Beasley.
I think at this point in Randall Cobb's career, I think that's pretty much going to be his role. But I feel that he is a reliable replacement for Cole Beasley. Now, as far as how Dak Prescott is, if Dak Prescott can improve his pocket presence, if he can be able to be more accurate and I would say increase his awareness, I do feel that he'll be able to distribute the ball the way he's supposed to in that offense. But this season, they need to focus on not letting Zeke Elliott carry that offense.
Well, he can't carry the offense if he's not there.
True. So now what Dak Prescott got to do? Now Dak Prescott has to focus on getting himself better and be able to evolve his receiving core.
And it doesn't help any that we've recently learned that Ezekiel Elliott has officially told the Dallas Cowboys that he will not be playing this season without a new contract, which I have to say is a little bit. This is almost a little bit new territory. Of course, we're used to players holding out for new contracts and more money, which leads to more problems. But he has 2 years left on his contract.
This is too early to be holding out. I can see if you're going into the final year of your contract, then you can start talking. That way, you won't have nothing to worry about till after the season. But it is too early for him to hold out. I mean, he's going into his, I want to say his fourth season. He's going to his fourth, I believe, or third.
It has to be third.
It has to be third. 'Cause I know his very first year, Dallas had clinched #1 seed in the NFC. And then last season.
Anywho, let's take a look at
We're
Dallas.
not going to overthink things. But let's just say it's too early for him to be doing all that holding out. Now, if you were somebody like Le'Veon Bell, that's a different story. But
So we'll take a look at the draft, and honestly, the only player here that stands out to me is Tony Pollard. They clearly are looking to get some more depth to their running back core. Pollard had, what I want to say, he tied in FBS record for most kick return touchdowns with 7. He's a triple threat running back. Not elite in any one, not the best runner, not the best catcher, but okay. So he is a really good kick returner.
I mean, he has the versatility that the Cowboys need.
Yeah, and however, interestingly enough, the kick return is starting to kind of die off and be less valued at the NFL level. So either he needs to develop somewhere else or perhaps become a premier punt returner, which still has a lot of value at the NFL level.
I don't know why the return is decreasing in value, because I used to love seeing kick returns and punt returns, because that's where you really have to keep you got to keep your head on the swivel, because you never know when you're going to get hit.
Well, I think it has a lot more to do with the fact that more and more kickers are able to kick it out of the back of the end zone.
True. And then punters are getting a lot better. Punters are finding ways to change the field position aspect of the game.
Yeah, but except for punt returns, especially with punting from deeper in the territory, you still need a really good returner. Someone who can come out and on average get 12, 15 yards per return.
I think Tony Pollard needs to evolve himself as more of a running back, because that's where Dallas needs the depth, especially as the Elliott's going to be holding out.
I don't think Elliott was ever a returner, though.
I'm talking about for running back position.
Oh, okay, running back position.
Elliott was never a returner. I'm just talking about for the running back position.
Well, I think Pollard is considered more of a project at this point, though. I don't see him coming along that quickly.
He'll probably be more of a gadget player for Dallas. That's going to evolve himself into one of their primaries. But for now, I think he's going to be kind of like that. Dallas might evolve into maybe that Swiss Army knife they need.
Okay. So we pretty much know that Dallas has a strong defense, and that will probably end up carrying them. they're going to have to give Prescott really good field position if this holdout continues much further. Which this has all the makings for something that's going to drag out. It really does.
My hope in Zeke Elliott's expense, because though Zeke Elliott say he's going to hold out, I don't think he's going to hold out like he said he's going to, because he's going to get that urge to want to get back out in the field and play. So I don't see him really holding through with this holdout.
Le'Veon went an entire season last year without playing a
But see,
snap.
Le'Veon is much more experienced. Le'Veon's been in the league a lot longer, and Le'Veon proved why he was worth a max contract. Pittsburgh didn't want to give it to him.
Fair enough.
Le'Veon and Zeke are different. Two different people, two different scenarios.
Fair enough. So I guess the question is, where do you think Dallas ends up with Elliott versus without Elliott? Now let's keep in mind that the Philadelphia Eagles have certainly reloaded this offseason. It looks like they're going to make another run.
And Washington looks like they're poised to take a few steps up. New York Giants, not sure where they're going, and that's the nicest way I'm gonna say about the Giants. But with Dallas, considering if they have Zeke Elliott, plus their acquisitions and plus the amazing defense they have, I could see them probably either second or third in the NFC East. I don't see them win the NFC East this season. Without Elliott, I say 8 at best without Elliott, and that's simply because of their defense. Their defense is going to get them out of a lot of situations. Their defense is going to be bailing them out quite a bit, especially if Elliott's not going to be on the team.
Fair enough. Okay, so I think that wraps up our analysis of the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, thank you for watching. Give us your feedback, and if you like it, subscribe. See you next time.